Welcome to Standard Chartered Money Insights, a podcast series by Standard Chartered Bank that brings you market views and insights on the go.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of InvesTips from the CIO's desk. I'm Steve Brice and your host for this show. Today, let's talk about something that we've all experienced but rarely think about: currency markets. If you've ever travelled overseas and exchanged money, you've already interacted with the foreign exchange market, or often called Forex. But what most people don't realise is this is actually the largest financial market in the world, where trillions of dollars are exchanged every day. So what drives these movements, and should you care as an investor? Let's break it down. So let's start with what is the Forex market and why it matters. So at its simplest, the Forex market is where currencies are bought and sold. It helps businesses trade and invest across borders, governments to fund its debt in different currencies, and people like us to spend money abroad. But unlike a savings account, currency values don't stay still. They move constantly. Why? Because they're driven by supply and demand, just like prices in the economy or in a supermarket. So maybe think of it this way: if more people want a country's currency for travel, for investment, or for trade, its value tends to increase. If fewer people want it, the value obviously falls. Naturally, unlike other investments, currencies are always traded in pairs. For example, when you buy euros with US dollars, you're effectively buying one currency and selling another at the same time. So what moves currency values? Well, there are several factors that influence whether a currency rises or falls, but you don't need to be an economist to understand the basics. Here are a few of the most important ones. Firstly, interest rates. Countries and currencies that offer higher returns in the form of interest rates tend to attract more investors, which can push their currency up. Secondly, inflation. If prices in a country rise too quickly, its currency can lose value over time. Third is the performance of the economy. A growing economy where businesses are productive and people are spending usually supports a stronger currency. Fourth, the trade balance. Countries that export more than they import tend to see stronger currencies because global demand for their goods drives demand for their currency. And finally, global events. Political tensions or major headlines can quickly affect investor confidence and move currencies. So in short, currencies reflect the overall health and confidence in a country's economy and economic policies. So final point is, should you invest in Forex? Well, the question is, can you invest in currencies? And the answer is yes, but with caution. There are different ways to get exposure, so you can invest in funds or ETFs that track currencies, which are generally more beginner friendly. Or you can just do fixed deposits in different currencies to diversify. Or you can trade currencies directly, but this is much more complex and risky, especially for beginners. One key point to remember is that foreign exchange markets can move quickly and unpredictably. In fact, they can be harder to predict than many other markets because so many factors are involved. In addition, you need to understand the transaction costs involved, which make this even harder to make money trading for an average retail investor. And that's why for most people, currencies are best used as a supporting part of a diversified portfolio rather than the main focus. So next time you exchange money for a trip, remember, you're seeing a small piece of a vast, fast-moving global market. Forex isn't just about trading, it's about understanding how the world's economies connect. And as with any investment, the key is to stay informed, stay disciplined, and never take on more risk than you can afford. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you for listening to Standard Chartered Money Insights, a podcast series by Standard Chartered Bank. For more details, visit Market Views on the Go on our website or click the link in the description.